Good morning, guys. Today is a great day to be in room 625. It is. Today, we are going to be talking about tax, tip, and discount. We'll also throw commission in there as well. If you were in class when we talked about this on Wednesday or Zoomed with us, you might want to skip ahead a little bit in the video to some new examples, but not since not everyone was here, I am going to go through all the examples one more time. That way we all have the same information. And so, like I said, tax, tip, and discount and commission. Tax is a percentage we pay towards the government in order to help pay for the infrastructure, roads, health services, education, mail services, anything like that is a percent of our money that we pay towards the government. Tip is the percent we give, usually to like a waiter or waitress for a good job. There's other professions we tip, but usually when we think of tip, we think of when we go out to eat and we pay them a little extra in order to thank them for their good service. Discount is where you go to a store and you save some money, 20% off, 30% off. And commission is where you make a percentage of your sales as an incentive to sell more goods and items as a job. And we'll talk about that as we go. And as we do this, I have the steps up here, and you will find that even though we're talking about tax, tip, discount, commission, 4 different things, the steps for those are all very, very similar. We will always want to find the total by adding. Then we will change the percent to a decimal. We'll multiply our total by a decimal, and we will add our answer from step 3 to our total if we're finding tax and tip. And if we're doing discount, we're going to subtract. I know I ran through that really fast, but we'll address that on each slide. But just when we have homework, I make a screen grab of that right there. That way you have that to look at. So our first example, or let's go to our first example, says Mr. Sebastian needs to catch him on his TV watching, and he goes to Target to buy the newest seasons of Walking Dead, Impractical Jokers, and Alaskan Bush People. If the sales tax is 7% and the cost of TV shows are $19.99, $18.75, and $25.40, what will be the total after tax? So the first thing we have to do is find the total. So if I go to the store, the first thing that cashier is going to do is scan all my items and add them up. So I'm going to take the 3 prices right here and add those together. I'm going to take $19.99 plus $18.75 plus $25.40 and add that up. 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry my 1. 9, 10, 17, 21. Carry my 2. That'd be 10. That'd be 14. So 24. And that'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my total, or we might even call this my subtotal, is 64.14. So that's how much it's going to cost me before I pay tax. Now I have to find tax. And step 2 says we change the percent to a decimal. So I find my decimal, and it's right here. I have 7%. To change a percent to a decimal, what do you think what percent means? Percent is a Latin word that means out of 100. So I need to change this into a decimal. I need to make it into hundredths, which we know is 2 numbers after the decimal. We talked about that when we learned how to read and write decimals. The other way is to just think of it as a whole number for a second. If I have a 7, just like a period comes at the end of a sentence, a decimal comes at the end of a number. To change a percent into a decimal, and that decimal is here too, even though we don't see it, I take that decimal and move it 2 places to the left. So 7% is the exact same as 0.07. So now I'm going to take my subtotal and multiply it by my tax. So 7% becomes 0.07 or 7 hundredths because percent means out of 100. So I'm going to take my subtotal, which is 64.14. I'm going to change that to a different color so it doesn't run into my first problem. I'm going to take 64.14 and multiply that by 0.07. And remember, when we multiply decimals, I don't have to line my decimals up. They do here, they do not have to. 7 times 4 is 28, carry my 2. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 7 times 4 is 28. And 7 times 6 is 42, plus 2 more is 44. And when we multiply decimals, remember, we have to count how many numbers are after the decimal in both our top factor and our bottom factor, and then add that together and move it the same in our product. So if I look at this top factor, I have 2 numbers after the decimal. If I look at this one, I have 2 numbers after the decimal, so I need a total of 4 numbers after the decimal. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, which is going to leave me with a tax of $4.4898. And hopefully your brains are now looking at this and saying that's wrong. Now, that's not what money looks like. And you're right, money does not look like that. Every time I've ever been to the store, and every time you will ever go to the store, we always see money with the dollars and then two numbers after the decimal to represent our cents. We never have more than two numbers after a decimal. So in case you do get more than two numbers after the decimal, the way we solve it is we look at the very first two. So right now it says I have $4.48. I'm going to round, so I looked at them to the right of that. That 9 tells me to round up. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So that's going to mean that my actual tax amount is $4.49. So I have so if you look at my steps, step 1, find the total, did that. Step 2, change the percent to decimal so far. Multiply total by decimal, did that. Now I need to add these two together to find my absolute total, to find how much I'll pay after tax. So I take $64.14. I'm going to add that to $4.49. 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry my 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 4 plus 4 is 8, and bring down my 6. So my total that I'll spend on my 3 shows and on tax paying for those 3 shows is $68.63. So that is how you find tax up here. Tax and tip, I put that little line there because on both of those we added the amount, the percent amount to the subtotal will be fine. So that is how you find tax. Let's try another one. Let's try, here we go. Number 2 says, Mrs. Pettit, she used to be the English teacher here. Mrs. Pettit goes to eat in the new Texas Roadhouse. While at Roadhouse, she orders a ribeye steak for $13.99, a side salad for $2.25, and a chocolate mousse dessert for $1.89. If she wants to leave a 15% tip, what will be her total after tip? Step 1, find the total. So we're going to add the prices together. So the price of the ribeye steak is $13.99, plus the price of her side salad, which is $2.25, plus the price of her chocolate mousse dessert, which is $1.89. And remember, when we add and subtract decimals, we must line that decimal up and line up the place values. 9 plus 9 is 14. Nope. 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 5 is 23. I see 2 plus 8 is 10. 19, 21. Here my 2. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Bring down my decimal point. So we know right now just the cost of her food, the subtotal of her visit to Roadhouse right now is $18.13. Now we have to apply the percent, and it says change percent to decimal. So I'm looking at her percent, which is 15%. So 15% is the same as 15%. And to change that to a decimal, I take the decimal and I move it 2 places to the left. So that is the same as 0.15. I always, when I change a percent to a decimal, I always take that decimal and move it 2 places to the left. So I'm going to take our subtotal of 1813 and multiply that by 0.15. 5 times 3 is 15, so I put down my 5, carry my 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 5 times 8 is 40, my 0 down, carry my 4. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. Put my placeholder down here. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 8 is 8, and 1 times 1 is 1 again. I'm going to add that together. I get 5, 9, 1, that'd be 17. Now I need to count how many numbers are after my decimal. I have 2 numbers after my decimal, my top factor. I have 2 numbers after my decimal, my bottom factor. 2 plus 2 is 4. So I need to have 4 numbers after my decimal in my product. So currently, Mrs. Pettit is paying this much for tax, $2.7195, but we don't have coins that can do that. We only have coins that go for the first 2 places after the decimal. We had to round to the hundredths place. So I look at the very first 2 numbers after the decimal, which is 71 cents, and I look to the right. 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. And that 9 tells me 71 to round up to 72 cents. So the total is $2.72. So now in order to find the step 4, I need to add my tax, and this is my tax. I should label that, or not tax, this is my tip. I need to label my tip. I need to add my tip to my subtotal. So I'm going to take the cost of her food, which is $18.13. I'm going to add that to the amount she is tipping her waiter or waitress, which is $2.72. 2 plus 3 is 5. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Bring that decimal point straight down. Mrs. Pettit is going to owe her waitress, not owe, but will pay for her entire visit to Texas Roadhouse $20.85 for both her meal and the tax she'll have to pay, or the tip. I keep saying tax, sorry. For the tip she'll have to pay. So once again, you can notice this is the same as, I keep calling it tax. This is the same. It's the same thing. We add it together. We change our percent to a decimal. We multiply it by our subtotal. We take that answer and add it back to our total. In the real world, a lot of times we apply tax to the total and then apply tip after that, or it depends. We're not going that in detail yet. I just want you guys to know that if I give you a percent, you need to find the total, multiply that total by that percent, and add it back to the total. All right, let's try another one. Let's go right here. Mrs. Galloway went to Walmart to buy the 3 seasons of Stranger Things. The first season cost $18.88. The second season cost $17.65. And the third season cost $20.53. If the sales tax, I put discount, that's wrong. I want to do a discount one. We'll do Mrs. McLean one, so we'll come back to this. Sorry, guys. Mrs. McLean decided to go online and order a few science experiments. She ordered a volcano experiment for $38.35, a plant experiment for $22.15, and a liquid density experiment for $23.59. If the experiments are on sale for 33% off, how much will Mrs. McLean save? What is her price after discount? So even though this is discount, we still do the same original steps. Step 1 for all of these problems will always be to find the total. So I'm going to take the numbers and add those together. I'm going to take the cost of her volcano experiment, which is $38.35, plus the cost of her plant experiment, which is $22.15, and the cost of her density experiment, which is $23.59. I'm going to add those together. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 9 is 19. Carry my 1. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Carry my 1. 10, 14. Carry my 1. 3, 5, 7, 8. Bring my decimal point straight down. So currently, Ms. McLean would spend a subtotal or a total of $84.09 to buy all 3 of those experiments. But she has a coupon. That's good, a discount. And so she gets to save some money because it's on sale. So 33% is the same as 33%. And to change a percent to a decimal, I take that decimal and I move it 2 places to the left. So her new, it's not new, but the percent represented as a decimal would be 0.33. We always just take that decimal and move it 2 places to the left. So I'm going to take her subtotal and multiply it by the percent or by the decimal that's equivalent to that percent. So I'm going to take 8409 and multiply that by 0.33. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry the 2. That'd be 0 plus 2 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry my 1. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. My placeholder. And since both these numbers are the same, I know all the digits here would be the exact same as those digits. So I can kind of just copy them down from above. That, I'm going to run into my previous problem. This would be 7, 9, 4, 7, 7, 2. And now I need to count how many numbers are after the decimal. I have 2 numbers after the decimal there, 2 numbers after the decimal there for a total of 4 in my answer. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm left with 27.7497. Like I said, the previous 2 examples, that is not good because there's only 2 numbers after the decimal money in real life. So I am going to look at the very first 2, which is 74 cents, look to the number to the right, which is the 9, The 9 tells me to round up, so that tells me that Mrs. McLean's discount, running out of space, that her discount is $27.75. And I know that because I round to the nearest hundredth. That 9 tells my 74 to round up to 75. So Miss McLean should save $27.75. So if you guys look up there, tax and tip are both we add. When something's on sale, that means you're saving money, which means you pay less, which means you will take away that percentage. So tax and tip you add, discount you're going to subtract on this one. So I am going to take, let's just do this. We can hide the screen for a second here in a minute. I'm going to take her subtotal, which is 8409, and I'm going to subtract her discount, which is $27.75. By screen. 9 minus 5 is 4. I can't take 7 away from 0, so I have to borrow. That becomes a 3. That becomes a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. I put down my decimal. I can't take 7 from 3, so I cross it out, make that a 7, make that a 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. 7 minus 2 is 5. So I get that her total after discount is $56.34, and I know I do that. I know that's what I do because my total after discount should be less than the total before discount, because if it's a discount, you're saving money. So $56.34 is the answer to this one. And for discount, remember we subtract discount. We subtract. Tax we add. Tip we add. Discount we subtract. Okay. Let's do one more example, and this video will be over with. Let's talk about commission, and I'll talk about as a commission is amount a person gets paid for making sales. So if you've ever gone to, I know when I go to the mall buy shoes, usually I walk into the shoe place, people like run to me to help me, and they are just because they are nice, but mainly because the more shoes they sell, the more money they get. Or if you've ever been to a car parking lot and somebody comes out really quickly to help you, they want to be the first one to help you because if they make the sale, if they sell you the car, they get more money for it. They get money no matter what, but they make more money based on how much they sell. So they want to sell more. So this says, working as a salesperson at the shoe department, you earn 11% commission on every shoe you sell. During the course of a day, you sell a pair of Jordans for $119.59, a pair of Converse for $39.45, a pair of Vans for $60, and a pair of Crocs for $9.99. How much commission do you make? So our original steps here hold true. Step 1 is to add. When you find the total of the amount you sold for that day. So the Jordans were $119.59. The Converse are $39.45. The Vans were $60. Remember, 60 has a decimal right there, so when we line it up, it goes just like that. And the Crocs were $9.99. So I'm going to add that up. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 5 is 23. Carry my 2. That's 9, so it's 18. That makes that 20. Carry my 2. That's 18, that's 20, so 29. Carry my 2, running out of space. 6 plus 3 is 9, 10, 12. Carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Bring that straight down. So you sold, if this is you we're talking about, you at home, you sold $229.03 worth of shoes. Now, in order to find the commission, we still do the next step. We change our percent to a decimal. So if my percentage is 11%, I change that to the same as 11 point, and move it over 2 places to make that point 11. So I'm going to take $229.03, $229.03, and we'll multiply that by 11. My decimals are not lined up, but that's okay because we're multiplying. We only have to line them up when we add and subtract. So 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 9, 2 and 2 would be 9, 2 and 2. For my placeholder, all these digits will be the same because it's the same number I'm multiplying them both by. Add 3, 3, 9, 11, 5, and 2. Draw a line. Lost my lid. I have 2 numbers after the decimal there, 0 there for a total of 2. So I go over 1, 2, I made a mistake somewhere here. Oh, I do have a decimal. I'm an idiot. My decimal goes right there. Because 11% is 0.11. That's my fault. Hopefully you caught that along with us. I could tell right away. I knew that this was not the right answer. If it's 11, I have 0.11. So this needs to also have two numbers after the decimal, 1, 2. So when I do my answer, I should have 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So right now we are earning a commission of $25.1933. For money, I have to look for the first two numbers after the decimal, round to the right. If that 3 tells me to stay the same, 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest. So 19 stays 19. And with commission, I am done. I don't have to add this or subtract it. Because if you're a salesperson working at a store and you sell these shoes, you're not making that money. The store makes that money. The owner of the store makes the money off the shoes. All you make is your commission. So don't add that. I don't subtract it from anything. That is simply your commission right there. So if this is you selling it and you sold this amount of shoes, the amount of money you would make would be $25.19 based on your commission rate. So hopefully this helps. And make sure if you have any questions, you email me or contact me. Make sure you're doing your homework and have a great day. And I will talk to you guys soon. See you.